Hey guys, thank you for joining us at On Duty TV. Hope you are still complying with the health advisory to fight against coronavirus pandemic. Now, today we'll be talking about the events unfolding under the mantra Black Lives Matter during this America in crisis. America is in crisis, a country that is fondly called God's own country and so loved by many. I felt it's just the coronavirus pandemic we'll be talking about, but another pandemic, another pandemic, which is even worse, I should say, is the pandemic of racism, of hate, of police brutality, which led to the death of George Floyd. And that is why there is a crisis in America, because of the injustice that is being served blacks and people of color in that country. So today we'll be talking about the events unfolding under the Black Lives Matter protests. What are you anticipating? Are you following the stories? What do you want to see happen? And how fast do you want to see justice served? How is the family taking it? These are questions coming up in my mind, and I think many people are thinking about that too. We'll be seeing all this in a short while from the videos I'm going to show you. Watching the video I'm about to show you, it's obvious that George Floyd was a good man. George Floyd is from a loving family who is greatly loved. And when I listened to how he was described by his family, how they gallantly spoke well of his influence, his love, his hugs, that can make you feel loved, and is so rich. So you just watch this video and we'll be right back.
Thank you so much. Praise him. Somebody help him praise the Lord. Come on, somebody help him praise the Lord. Hey, somebody help him. Hey. Oh, yeah.
Hallelujah! Woo! Hey, yeah! Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. You've been so good. You've been so good. I just want to say right now. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Jesus. For my nephew, Lord. Lord, I love you, I miss you so bad. The family loves you, but we gonna hold it together just for you. Yeah.
Everyone look this way a moment. Look this way a moment. My mother is 102 years old. We're celebrating today. If my mother was here, she would say, if I can't say a word, I'll just. Come on, she said, if I can't say a word, I'll just wave. So somebody just wave your hand.
One's friends and family of George Floyd. But before that, I would like to welcome to the podium Attorney Benjamin Krupp for his remarks. Would you please welcome him? Thank you.
I'm Attorney Ben Crump, and along with Attorney Tony Romanucci and Attorney Chris Stewart, as my co-counsels out front seeking justice for the family of George Floyd, along with a lot of other great attorneys who are working in the background, who I will mention briefly before we bring up the ones who knew George Floyd all of his life. I want to thank lawyers towing in the vineyards like Devin Jacob, Chris O'Neill, Lee Merritt, Darrell Parks, Jasmine Rand, Bill Pentas, and Carol Powell-Lexon, because you may see Tony and Chris and I, but it's a whole team of lawyers who are working, because it's going to take a united effort fighting in the courtroom and outside the courtroom to get justice for George Floyd. I would tell you all that because of the coronavirus pandemic, we have to stay on a strict schedule, and we all have to do this social distancing. But I want to just put it on the record, Reverend Al, that it was not the coronavirus pandemic that killed George Floyd. I want to make it clear on the record. Will Packard, it was that other pandemic that we're far too familiar with in America, that pandemic of racism and discrimination that killed George Floyd.
We come up together. We didn't have much. Our mom did what she could. We would sleep in the same beds, play video games together, go outside and, play catch with the football. And I used to say to myself, like, man, you can't throw. You can't throw at all. You know what I mean? Because the ball never came to me. And years down the line, because I was catching with one hand, two hands, any way you threw it, I started being able to catch it. He said, I can throw, but I just wanted you to go get the ball. The ball don't need to come to you. You need to go get the ball. But, my brother, we did a lot of things together, from like talking with my mom, dancing with my mom, cooking with our mom, brothers and sisters. Man, so much. We made banana mayonnaise sandwiches together, It was a family thing, Every day, we know when we come in the house, our mom was gonna have a huge plate of food separate from each other, and we would sit there and argue with each other who plate it was, and I'm like in 10 or 11, I'm talking about the plate with 6 pieces of chicken is mine, and he way bigger than me. You know what I mean? He's huge. So, man, from that, being in the house with my brother, man, it was just like inspiring to other people, because my mom used to take in other kids, and most of them was George's friends, and they wanted to stay with her. They loved her, and my brother, he was okay with it. So then they wanted to be around him. George, he was like a general. Every day he walks outside, it'd be a line of people, just like when we came in, wanting to greet him and wanted to have fun with him. Guys that was doing drugs, like smokers and homeless people, you couldn't tell, because when you spoke to George, they felt like they was the president, because that's how he made you feel. He was powerful, man. He had a way with words. He could always make you ready to jump and go all the time. Everybody loved George. We didn't call him George. We called him Perry. If you called him Perry, you knew him direct, you know.
I'm just going to echo some of the things that Falon has talked about, and that is that we come from a long line of large family members. Our mothers were siblings of 13, and if I can kind of fast forward a little bit, my aunt she lived in Houston, and she would always talk about being there, not having any of the siblings close to her. So my mother decided to move to the Houston area back early 80, 81. And so we came to Houston, and we were all excited that we could have somebody close to us, because the only time we really would see each other is like during the holidays or when people would travel to visit my grandmother. Long story short, I mean, we didn't have a whole lot, but we always had each other. And we always were taught that, you know, we could always bring other people into the fold. Always, no one should ever go home without having a meal or having food. And so that's how, as he talked about, my aunt was someone in the community that everybody, they called her Miss Sissy. And all the kids loved to come over there. And she ended up having, you know, 30 or 40 kids that would come over there because they always knew that they could get something to eat if they came there. And not only food, but they could be loved and they could feel part of a fold. So we were raised to always welcome people in and to embrace other people. And so you could see, as all these people, no matter who you talk to, they will all say the same thing, and that George was somebody who was always welcoming, always made people feel like that they were special, and nobody felt left out. And he would enter into a room. Everybody would feel like they were special. He would embrace them. As I think about the thing that I will miss about him most is his hugs. Like, he was this great big giant, and when he would wrap his arms around you, you would just feel like, you know, everything could just go away. Any problems you had, any concerns you had would go away. So while we're all grieving, I just want to kind of highlight his children, you know, Quincy, Javion, Tanjanika, Tyson, and Gianna, and his 3-year-old granddaughter, Journey. We all need prayer. But if I am honest about it, we are more concerned about his children and his grandchildren. So I ask as you pray for us as we go along this marathon to make sure that justice is served on George's behalf, or Perry as we call him. I ask that you pray for us and especially for their children. Thank you.
What's your view about these videos, and do you think George Floyd will get justice and bring about a turning point in how Black lives and people of color are treated in America? Drop your comments in the comment section below. Thank you, and I do really appreciate you. See you next time.
Hallelujah.